Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Breaking Ponies, where we talk about Breaking Bad and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I think
Yep,
we
proves in
need
the
to
name.
come up with a snappier intro than that, but whatever.
Oh, we'll just wing it each
Yeah,
time. It's
so,
more entertaining that way.
yeah, this is episode three, so we are going to be looking at episodes five and six of MLP and episode three of Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we do ponies first, so I guess you're up.
Okay, well, in episode five, we get the introduction of a character that actually has somewhat popularity online of Trixie, who is a.
No, 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 no,
Oh wait,
no,
right,
no,
right.
no, no,
That was
no.
episode six.
Oh boy, we're off to a great start, everyone.
I totally wrote the wrong word.
Yeah, you did.
I wrote Trixie instead of Pinky. Okay, episode five, we get an introduction of a character I had not seen online, of Gilda the Griffin, who
Yes.
right off the bat totally has her hair cut like a dyke.
Oh boy. Um. Yeah. Let's not go there, please.
Just the way she looks. You
I,
just
I
kind of
think
get
I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think it's supposed to be kind of emo-ish, the feathers down over the hair, over the head, sorry. I think it's kind of supposed to be a bit like that. I don't know, maybe.
I don't know.
So
She kind of reminded me of Spike from the Weird Al show, which you probably don't remember.
I don't think we got that over here.
We barely got it over here. It lasted like 13 episodes. But Spike was this character who was, of course, introduced, not related to the Spike in My Little Pony, of course.
No,
And he was just kind of a bad influence on it, which is, I guess, the same situation we got here. But of course, we start off with Pink and Rainbow Dash. They're going around pulling pranks on everybody. Of course, they trick Spike at the beginning, and they try to give him hiccups, and of course, now with hiccups, he causes fireballs and he ends up sending a bunch of scrolls to Celestia, which fall on her head, which I missed the first time through. So I
yeah,
thought they were
how
gonna.
did you miss that?
I must have just looked away.
You blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah, I guess because I thought they were gonna he was gonna like send something to her and she would like misinterpret it or something as like
Mm.
another throwaway gag, but they went a different way with it. But of course they start pulling pranks on everybody else, and they're mostly kind of take it in stride. They just those two pranksters. So of course Pinkie Pie goes after a while. She ends up going to meet with Rainbow, and she's dressed really. What the how the hell do you describe what Pinkie is dressed like?
Just random. Well, she's got one of those sort of city glasses
Yeah,
things
she's got like the
on.
Groucho glasses. I mean, going back to Weird Al again, he looks like Weird Al in the I Lost on Jeopardy video.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
He's like, you also made yourself look like a jerk in front of millions of people.
Yeah, well,
And yeah, that's what she was dressed like. She even has the arrow through the head.
yeah, pretty much. Just, basic prank stuff.
It's like she's trying too hard to be random.
I don't think she has to try very hard to be
No,
random.
she
Let's be
doesn't,
honest. This is Pinky.
which is why it's so unusual when she actually does try too hard.
Mm,
But yeah, of course, she ends up meeting one of Dash's old friends, I think from flight school,
yeah, from flight camp or something like that.
flight academy, or
No, she hasn't actually gone to any schools or kind of. I think it's some sort of kids camp for flying creatures.
right,
Kind of like a summer camp kind of thing.
right. So of course, she ends up meeting the Griffin, and she tries to get along with her, but the Griffin is not a very likable person
No, to put
or
it bluntly,
creature or
she's a bit of
whatever.
a bitch.
Yes, she is very much a bitch, and like I said, her feathers are cut definitely in a bitchy hairstyle.
Yeah, she's just got bad attitude written all over her.
And because she just has this attitude, is like, ugh, everyone around here is so stupid and uncool. It's like, you're kind of a bitch about it. I mean,
Yeah.
they do a very good job of making her very unlikable, like right off the
Mm,
bat. They don't even try to obfuscate it. They're just, yeah, she's not very
yes,
nice.
she's a jerk,
Yeah, she's not a very nice person,
clearly.
or Griffin, or whatever you say.
Mm.
What is the proper pronoun in that situation?
She's not a very nice griffin. I think griffin is just the generalized term. I don't think there's a singular or a plural to it. I think it's just griffin.
I mean, but what if they're not like a Griffin? What if they're just someone,
Oh,
but not a very nice
well,
being?
they're not a very nice being, you could say. Well, technically, it depends on their species, because of course, most ponies in the equestrian refer to themselves as ponies.
Yeah.
They run around screaming every pony.
Hello, every pony, etc.
Yeah, which is
Some pony.
they do occasionally make the mistake of saying buddy instead of pony on a couple of occasions, and it's really actually jarring and noticeable when they do because you're so used to them saying pony all the time. but Gilda isn't very nice.
No, that's what we're trying to get across. Gilda is not very nice. So, of course, Pinky tries to remedy this. Well, she goes to tell Twilight. She's like, well, maybe you're just being jealous because you're stealing your friend. And so everybody immediately thinks that. It's like, of course, the audience knows, no, that's not true at all. She is a bitch.
Yeah.
But of course, Pinky like takes it. Oh, maybe I am being a bit jealous. Maybe it's just trying to be. Maybe she's like not fitting in. She doesn't know how to act. But no, she's a bitch. She's like pulling pranks on other people, and she's just being a very unlikable character. So of course,
she scares Fluttershy, which is just wrong. You don't scare Fluttershy.
Yeah, they even established that in this episode. They established that enough to remind the audience, like, you don't scare Fluttershy. You don't do that. That's just wrong.
Yeah, she's weak and she needs protecting.
I'm hoping that becomes a character arc later where she like has to.
Well, without giving too much away, certain things do come up kind of like that. It takes a little while to get into it, but there are episodes where you see more to her character.
So of course, Pinky decides to remedy this in the only way Pinky can, with a party.
Party!
Because what else would she do? So she invites
Exactly.
Gilda, and Gilda is obviously not a very pleasant person to be around at the party, and ends up destroying everything. And she thinks that all the pranks that are being pulled on her were set by Pinky in order to like make her look like a fool. But no, it turns out it was actually Rainbow Dash that set them all.
What a twist.
Oh no, do-do-do. I don't know what that sound was supposed to be.
Just random jingle number 2678. So, yeah, I think, the basic idea is that, if someone's a jerk, it's probably not a good idea to hang around with them. And that, usually if they're a jerk, everyone is going to realize that they're a jerk. So don't be a jerk.
Yeah, kind of a standard lesson for people.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that really, it's a very random thing, but I wonder how long they had to think about to work out the logistics of the hand buzzer in this setting.
Oh yeah, because one of the pranks they pull is the old classic sort of electric buzzer in your hand thing. And of course,
but how does that work on a hoof?
Very carefully.
I would guess. Yeah.
They probably didn't even think about it that much. They probably just drew it once and then stuck with it.
I guess I liked episode 5 okay. I liked it more than episode 6 because episode 6 seems to kind of be retreading almost the same ground where like there's a new person in town that nobody really trusts.
Yeah, I guess kind of. I mean, again, everything ultimately comes down to friendship, be nice, do the right thing kind of stuff. I mean, it's a kid's show at the end of the day.
I'm not judging that, but I mean, they could have spaced it out. They could have had this as a later episode. I don't know. It just seemed like back to back with the previous one. It seemed to be very similar.
Well, don't forget when these originally aired, they were a week apart. So,
well, that would make it worse because you waited a week and you get an episode that's still very similar to the one you had last time. I don't know.
You're overthinking it.
I overthink things. Because I work on writing things, and I try to make sure that things are properly spaced, and there's a pacing to these things, but whatever. This is the episode where we're introduced to Trixie.
Yes, we'll get it right this time.
Yes, but of course, we start out with Twilight practicing her magic and find out that she has 25 powers, which is
25 new spells.
Right, 25 new spells. Which, I mean, how do you define what a spell is? Like, is making the door a spell?
I don't know how they define. I guess it's just 25 new things she can do with magic, really, more than anything else.
Because like,
yeah.
Because like, is conjuration just one spell, or is that like a subset of different spells? I mean, like I said, we're very much overanalyzing this stuff, but I guess that's what this show is about.
That's the point. We're supposed to overanalyze it. I don't know. I mean, they don't really go into too much detail. It's magic,
It's magic. Bitch, we don't have to explain it.
Exactly.
So, and of course, one of her powers is being able to grow mustaches, which for some reason Spike is obsessed with because he wants a mustache to impress Rarity.
Why wouldn't a dragon want a mustache? I mean, honestly, it makes perfect sense.
And the dragons usually, at least like Western or Eastern dragons, I don't know what the hell Spike is supposed to be. He's kind of like in the middle. He's just a round dragon.
He's just a dragon. They don't really give them styles in that sense. They lean more towards a sort of European type dragons. When you see other ones in future episodes, that's not really much of a spoiler. So they do kind of lean more towards the European ones.
Well, those dragons tend to have like very large whiskers on the ends. Like if you look at something like Shenlong from Dragon Ball Z, he has those huge whiskers.
Well, that's very much the Asian dragon, isn't it?
Yeah.
The sort of noodle dragon, I think they're sometimes called, because they're very long and thin.
Yeah, this is
Um,
the East the Asian dragon style.
yeah. So yeah, but as I say, I think Spike's more European than Asian. He's sort of, but he's supposed to be a baby, so he's very small and with a big head.
He wants to have a mustache or some reason. I guess he just wants to look stylish.
I don't read too much into it. I think it's just a throwaway thing for the episode.
Right.
Okay.
He wants a mustache to impress Rarity. I don't think that's a throwaway though. It's kind of been established that he does have a thing for a lot of the different ponies. Actually, he likes Rarity, he likes Fluttershy,
I think he likes Fluttershy because she likes,
animals.
dragons in that
Yeah.
sense and animals. But yeah, he has a crush on Rarity. Official.
Right. So of course, then Trixie comes into town and starts bragging about all of her different powers and doing all the things like I am stronger than anybody here or any pony here or whatever. I'm just gonna say anybody, whatever. And she brags that she defeated this creature called the Ursa Major, which obviously is a bear with stars in it.
It's a starry bear.
Yes, because constellations, whatever.
It's a joke.
Yeah, of course, it's a joke. I've made that exact same joke.
Yes,
I have a bear named Major Ursa, so there you go.
exactly.
But and of course, then they finds out that the other ponies are not really too enamored with her. They think she's bragging. They think she's boastful. So Twilight's like, well, I should keep my power secret because I apparently this is a story arc that. This is a character arc that I really don't think had been established previously that she's ashamed of her powers because she's had no problem using it in the past.
I don't think it's so much a character arc as much as problem of the day. I don't think it's, it's not like something that's been previously established. She doesn't have problems showing off her powers, although she is a little shy about using it, but that just comes from her general shyness.
Yeah, her
that
general
she's
bookworm nature.
Yeah, her bookworm nature. She isn't a show off by nature, and of course that comes into the problem when the show off Trixie shows up.
Yeah, I don't know, it just seemed like out of character for her because I would think that her desire to help people would trump her desire to not be embarrassed.
Again, I think you're reading too much into it, as always.
So of course the two doofs of the town, one I think his name
Snips and
is
Snails.
Snips and Snails.
Yeah.
I didn't remember the first one's name, so I guess yeah, Snips and Snails and Puppy Dogs. All right.
I didn't make that reference, but it might be.
I'm sure that's what it is. Snips and Snails and Puppy Dogs' tails.
Well, maybe you never know. Yeah, but they're sort of semi-recurring characters. They show up now and then, and they're just kind of the dorks. They're the dorky characters, the sort of goofball-esque.
Yeah,
type.
so they're there and they're immediately enamored with Trixie and they want to be her friend and they basically want to be her cohorts or trying to think of what the word would be.
Well, they're kind of just over enamored fans, and they
Yeah,
want to be
they're fanboys of her and they're trying to help her and they want her to do things to impress them. So they actually go out and get a Major Ursa from the forest and bring it into town. And it's like, we wanted to see you stop the Major Ursa. It's like, are you guys crazy? It's like, I guess they kind of are.
Well, yes, they're crazy, for you.
So of course she reveals that no, she never actually did stop a Major Ursa. She made it all up. So it's up to Twilight Sparkle to stop them, and she does it by singing him a lullaby, giving him a bottle of milk, and putting him to sleep.
Yes, because it's ultimately revealed that
It's
he's not
not
an
a Major Ursa.
Major.
It's a minor, or it's not a major. It's not an Ursa Major. It's an Ursa Minor.
Yes.
Saying Major Ursa.
You said Major Ursa before, and I thought, should I correct him? No, I won't, because it'll be really funny when people come to listen to the episode.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, we are here to entertain people.
Yes, I guess. I guess so. So
least
yeah,
that's the plan, anyway.
it turns out it's an Ursa Minor. It's like, but what's an Ursa Major like? It's like, you don't want to know. It's just this big purple bear creature that's. I mean, the Ursa Major is, or the Ursa Minor is even big enough on its own, but the Ursa Major is freaking massive.
Big ass claws and teeth and horrible looking thing.
It's like it reached level 28 and evolved.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It's the Teddy Ursa into an Ursa ring. Does the Ursa Major come back?
No.
No? Oh.
No,
So it was just a throwaway?
It was a throwaway.
Mm.
A lot of these episodes are just throwaways.
Well, I mean, first season, you never know. When they establish something in the first season that even the writers didn't expect to bring back, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so all in all, I like the episode 5 more than episode 6, like I said, because it just kind of seemed to be retreading old ground.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of I don't know. I think it's different. I mean, in the first one, it's just like people can be jerks, and it's not necessarily a nice idea to hang around with people like that. And that if you are a jerk, you will eventually get found out and won't have any friends. And in the second one, it's
It's
more of
about you can be proud of what you're good at, just don't be a braggart about it.
yeah, don't take it too far. Having some pride is good, having too much is bad, kind of thing. There's
In that sense, it's the same theme as the fourth one, the
Yeah, pretty
chapter.
much. Pride and all that stuff. And I mean, if you think about it, there's only so many life lessons you can teach. You're inevitably going to repeat yourself in some way, shape, or form.
Pixar seems to do a decent job of choosing multiple ones.
Yeah, but they've only done a handful of films. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah. So of the two, you like the Griffin one better?
yeah, I guess so. Although it seemed that Ghostbusters seemed to have more in terms of overall plot to the series because they did introduce several new characters.
Yeah.
Like Trixie and Snips. I never heard of Gilda previously, so I don't know how popular she ended up getting within the series.
Trixie comes back in a future episode, although she's sort of relatively minor character. Gilder, off the top of my head, I don't think she comes back at all.
Huh.
I mean, obviously she has a fan base, outside the series, but I don't remember her coming back in the cartoon show. No, I don't think she does. So she's decided that Ponyville isn't for her because she's a Griffin.
Right. So she goes to Griffinville.
Wherever the Griffins live, I guess. I don't think that's even established. Anyway, sidetracked much.
Okay, so on to Breaking Bad.
Yes, more Whiplash time. Yeah. So, Breaking Bad, following on from the last episode.
You're going to be saying
Quickly,
that a lot.
yeah. From what I can tell, unlike My Little Pony, Breaking Bad is very. One episode leads into the next episode, which leads into the next episode. So, for the record, if you're joining us now, on the third episode is your first, go back to the first ones because I mean, this is episode 3. It's not going to take you much time to go back. So anyway, so they're clearing up the mess that showed up at the end of the last one. And if you want to find out what that mess is, you're going to have to go back and listen to the previous episode. So yeah, they start off by clearing up the mess. And they've still got the problem of the guy locked up in the basement. What was his name? Crazy 8? Something like
Yeah,
that?
Crazy 8.
Crazy 8. And Walter still has to deal with him.
I thought you were going to
Why?
say Walter still has cancer.
Well,
He does, but I mean...
of course, yes, he does have cancer, and it kind of shows up sort of in this episode. But we'll get to that anyway. While all that is going on, Walter's wife, Skylar, is talking with, I believe, her sister. I forget her name now. She kind of pretends that she's writing this character who's a stoner, and of course, sister isn't fooled and starts thinking it's one of the members of the family, but she starts thinking it's Walter Jr. I still fucking hate people who call their kids Junior. I'm sorry, that's just wrong. You don't do that. Anyway, yeah. So she starts thinking that Walter Jr. is the one who's smoking the stuff, which then leads to Walter's brother-in-law, the DEA agent, taking him on a sort of ride-along, let's all look at the druggies type ride, which doesn't have quite the impact he was expecting, I think, for obvious reasons.
I don't even think Walter Jr. ever considered drugs as an option, so he never even saw it in that sense that he's trying to scare him away from this.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess if you were using drugs, it might scare you. But to be honest, I was just laughing my ass off the whole time. But so while that's going on, Walter is desperately trying to deal with the problems around him. Jesse starts smoking the meth that Walter made in the first episode, which of course Walter gets really pissed at. And the two of them end up having a big fight. Very funny fight, actually. The scene where they're just kicking at each other is hilarious.
Oh yeah, because it's like the total white boy. Because I mean, you would expect Jesse would kind of know how to fight, but he's kind of high at the moment. So
yeah, it's just like everything in this series is so middle class. It's hilarious.
yeah,
It's yeah. So anyway, the two of them have a fight. Jesse storms off, and Walter's left to deal with Crazy 8. and he starts sort of talking to him because he obviously doesn't want to kill him because Crazy Eight himself says that Walter doesn't have it in him. And, I can understand that. So he's trying to find a reason that he can so that Walter can let him out, which is obviously going to be such a good idea. And
It's with drug dealers, you never know. I mean, it's very hard to trust them.
well, yeah.
Of course, I'm not speaking from personal experience in this case, but
Well, no, but just it makes sense. I mean, not only is the guy a drug dealer, but Walter also killed his
he killed his
brother.
partner, and not only his partner, but his like brother, I believe, or his
Was it his
cousin,
brother or his cousin? I can't remember which.
his family. He killed his family. He was part
Yeah,
of
he
his
killed a
family,
member of
so
his family,
it's
so that's pretty bad as well. And of course, Jesse has also told Crazy Eight several rather intimate details about Walter and his life, so that's
well,
good.
either told him or he overheard.
Or overheard, or something like that, or yeah, something like that. Walter, who's still feeding him, again, cutting the crusts off because apparently Crazy Eight doesn't like crusts on his sandwiches.
He's being much too nice to a prisoner.
Yeah,
It just shows you just how bad he is at this.
yeah, he's not in a world where he is comfortable.
No, he definitely isn't.
So anyway, whilst he's taking him this sandwich on a plate, he starts coughing and collapses because of his lung cancer, obviously. He wakes up and kind of confesses about the whole thing. He clears up the mess and throws it out, and then takes him some more. And actually, Crazy Eight and Walter start having a sort of a chat. And it turns out that he's related to this. Crazy Eight is the son of this guy Walter often buys stuff from, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what is
He ran a furniture store, and
a
he
furniture. That was
he
it, furniture.
bought his like furniture from him.
Mm.
So
Yeah, so
it's a very minor connection, but it's still a connection.
yeah, Walter's just trying to convince himself that there's some human part of Crazy Eight, and so that he can let him go. So Walter finally convinces himself and goes up to get the key to unlock the bike lock that Crazy Eight's tied up with. And while he's there, it dawns on him that when he fell over and dropped the sandwich and the plate smashed, that one of the pieces went missing. And he quickly realizes that Crazy Eight had taken it, and that if he lets Crazy Eight out, he's gonna kill him. So
And
Walter,
this reveal, I remember you like kind of
yeah, I was working it out as Walter was working it out. Literally, he looked in the bin, looked at the shards, and it's just like, oh, hang on a second. He was passed out for like quarter of an hour. Has he taken one of those pieces? He's taken one of the fucking
and
pieces,
because
hasn't
and
he?
just like seeing the shards there, and he just immediately kind of just this passing glance at it, and then he like, wait a second.
Yeah, am I missing something here? And Walter just because Walter was this close to letting him out, and now he knows for a
Yes, I
fact
mean, so
he
he's not
has to
only
kill
just
him.
like he's not only berating he's also berating himself for being suckered in
Mm.
to him talking about this because he could have lied about any of that.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff I was saying about the father working at the. I mean, it probably was true because he kind of knew too much information about it, but well, maybe I don't know. So Walter goes downstairs and sort of confronts him about it, and using the bike lock that Jesse put on Crazy Eight, literally strangles him to death. And Walter he finally manages to actually get rid of one of their problems. Of course, during the struggle, Crazy Eight does manage to stab Walter in the leg. That may or may not come back into it again later. We're
Oh,
not
I'm sure it
sure.
will.
Anyway, Jesse returns the next day. Walter seems to have cleared everything out.
Yep,
He's cleaned
RV
up.
is empty. All the crazy it's gone from the basement.
Yeah, and Walter is gone as well. Looks like the problems from the first episode are finally being cleaned up and swept under the rug, as it were. And the episode ends with Walter going back home after spending the previous night at Jesse's because his wife's pissed at him for
Of
obvious
course,
reasons.
obviously.
And the episode literally just ends with him saying to his wife, "We need to talk." So, and I don't know what they're going to talk about.
And
I
we
can
have,
guess.
yeah, you can guess, but
I can guess he's probably going to tell her about the cancer and say, this is why I've been acting odd lately. I'm really, really sorry. And hopefully things will be better. The other small side storyline that's going on is that Walter's brother-in-law, the DEA agent, can't for the life of me remember his name, Hank, I think it was. Yeah, Hank. He is starting to put evidence together that there's a new meth dealer in town. He has found the place where everything went down with the two drug dealers at the end of the first episode, finding like the gas mask, Crazy Eight and his cousin's car with the pure crystal meth inside it. So they're starting to put the pieces together. So I'm willing to bet that he's going to be hunting after Walter and Jesse pretty soon. I'd imagine that's probably going to be a constant thing throughout the entire season, series, even not just the season. So it's things are getting interesting, and the story's constantly moving forward, and some situations get resolved, new ones show up, and yeah, I'm really really interested to see where we're going to go
There was a lot
next.
of really great imagery in this episode. I love the mixture between them talking about the different constituent parts of the human body and the missing piece, and then talking about the broken, and then connecting that with the broken plate.
Yeah, because during the episode, Walter has these sort of flashbacks. Not sure what he was doing. He seemed like it was, prior to his life as a high school chemistry teacher, he was an actual proper scientist, perhaps. I'm sure. I'm assuming we'll go into more detail on that as the series unfolds.
Yeah.
So yeah, but overall, really interesting this episode. Really, really want to know, sort of where it's going to go. Because I mean, the first two episodes kind of did end with a cliffhanger, but it wasn't a tight cliffhanger. It was just kind of, oh, I wonder what happens next. This episode actually did end with a cliffhanger, a scene that was in the middle and stopped. So I really want to know what goes on in the next episode and of course the rest of the series. Really, really enjoying it. Can't think of anything else specifically to talk about. So I guess that's it for this episode.
So yeah, we will see you folks next time for episode 4 and episodes 7 and 8.
Yes. Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, and Trixie is best pony.